Hey everybody, long time no see. It's Work From Home Friday. G-chord song to G-chord song. It's Work From Home Friday. I'm sure you've noticed by now that our new house has room for actual bookshelves, and so we've been able to get all of the books that have been in closets and in the attic down, and then they're actually on a shelf where they can be read and enjoyed. I have to admit, I'm actually not much of a reader. I wish I was more of a reader. There's lots of things I want to read, and there's lots of things on the bookshelf that have not been read, but there are some that have been read thoroughly. Back when I was a kid, yes, dinosaurs, haha, whatever. We used to have special times at school when we would order books from a book club, and then the books would arrive and we'd all go as a class and stand in line at the library and we would get our books. It was such an exciting time, and we would go and get the latest book from Judy Blume, or we would get Freckle Juice, or How to Eat Fried Worms, or Super Fudge. And yes, those were all real books that I read. My best friend Galen would always order the latest Garfield book. He had them all, and whenever I got to spend the night at his house, we would stay up until the wee hours of the morning reading through the comics together and laughing until we could not breathe. It was some years after that Calvin Hobbes came out, and Calvin Hobbes became my obsession. One of the things I've been most excited to get out of the attic and onto the bookshelf is all of the Calvins and Hobbeses. As I read through more and more Calvin and Hobbes books, and as the comics matured, I really became interested in Bill Watterson, the author. He showed a very open dislike for the newspaper industry and for the formats that he was constrained to, and so in the books his art really flourishes. Because Bill Watterson was so protective of his art and the world of Calvin and Hobbes, he held onto his copyrights with an iron fist. This also roughly corresponded with the time when all of the window stickers of Calvin peeing on something showed up, which really broke my heart, and I can't imagine what it did to Mr. Watterson. But when I got all my Calvin and Hobbes books on the shelf, I really wanted to share them with people and with you. And out of respect for Mr. Watterson, I would not even ever think about violating his copyright on these books. Which means I can't actually show any of the comics on my YouTube video, because I wouldn't do that. So instead I thought I'd pick a few of my favorites and just explain them to you. So Calvin's dad's coming home, and he's coming home from work, he's got his briefcase, and then he stops at the front walk and there's these sticks with snowman heads on them with their mouths open, their crosses on their eyes, because they're all dead. And then he walks in the house and says, home sweet home. Because this kid's crazy, it's funny. I just can't stand it. Where he's standing in the yard, he's looking at, ew, mud, and his face is all, ew. And then he says, look at this smushy, grimy, wet muck, blah, and he's poking it with a stick, and blah. And the last frame is, talk about a kid magnet, and he's jumping into the mud. He's so playful, it's hilarious. This is funny because he's shoveling snow, because he's getting his dad's going back and forth about shoveling snow, and so he shovels the snow onto the front step of the house in front of the door, and then he goes around the house, like all the way around to the driveway, and then he shovels the driveway, but he piles all the snow up right behind the car. And then Hobbes is looking at him like, what are you doing? And he's sitting there and he's all excited, and he says, if you do the job bad enough, you won't get asked to do it again. I used to do that when I was on it. No, I didn't ever do that, Dad. Never mind. No. So Susie Darkins is a girl next door, and she's making a snowman, but it has woman parts, okay? And he says, hey, what's wrong with your snowman? And she said, it's a snow woman. And he makes this face like and his mouth's and he just gets this. And then his mom is standing out yelling at him in the front yard saying, Calvin, you cannot have an anatomically correct snowman. In the front. Because it woo. Spaceman's been pretty good. And it's really his teacher. It's an alien. You know what that means.